Hello everyone, my name is Bhaskar Gupta. I'm working as a technical product manager for VCPP, and today I'm going to talk about data center functions which have been introduced with version 1.3, and we have done some enhancements with version 1.4 as well. This is in continuation of the previous sessions where I've talked about the version 1.3, but if you're not familiar with the VMware Cloud Provider Lifecycle Manager architecture and overview, not to worry, feel free to go through this video and documentation to familiarize yourself with this tool. So once you log in, the first thing you will see is no vCenter is a register. To deploy or register a product, please register vCenter first. Click here to register. So it will take you to the data center. So what exactly is the data center? So in this video is what we are gonna cover. So data center components are defined as an instances of services that are available in the data center but not managed by VMware Cloud Provider Lifecycle Manager. We don't manage either of the data center. With the new API or the version 2, we have introduced the registration of vCenter, NSXT, vROPS as a data center component, making the solution more efficient. Also, this has been introduced in the UI wherein you can register the data center. So the data center are the components which are registered so that can be used later for the product deployment and integration purpose. For example, if I click here, we can see the same data center page. So you can just click on register, select the existing JSON file to register the data center, or you can just click next, provide the data center type details. For example, vCenter, NSXT or vROPS. You can select either of these products as a data center itself. For this demo, I'm going to select vCenter. We'll provide the version here for the vCenter which we want to register. Provide the FQDN, the username and password. We need to make sure that we have sufficient privileges to add the data center here. And here is something we can select the purpose of the data center. It can be either management or resource so that it can easily be identified while deploying any product over there. Provide the network details. So select the network which you want to add for your future product deployments over there. The gateway details, subnet mask, and click OK. Similarly, you can add additional network. In my demo, I'll be deploying VMware Cloud Director, so I'll be needing two networks, one for DMZ and management. Hence, I'm adding another network here. The gateway and the subnet mask is what we are providing here. Click OK. We'll click next. DNS, NTP domain and search part to be added to all networks that have the gateway subnet specified. When deploying a product, these settings will be taken from the selected network that the product is connected to. If not set in the data center component, you can still set the values for the product directly. So here you can validate, register, or you can download data center as a JSON. So I clicked on validate. We can see the result as success. Click on register. So post validation, you can see the registration process, and the same can be viewed in this task here itself. You can click on view task logs to see more details as shown here. And similarly, you can download it as a log file. So going back, we can see that it succeeded. We'll click on data center and see it's listing up here as well. So these are the new features which have been introduced. You can open the vCenter UI and you can log into the vCenter, download it as a JSON as well. You can click on open and see what all parameters and the details which you have configured, the resource pool and networks as well. Under actions, you can see you have got delete, edit and discover. These are the few tasks which have been introduced with 1.4. Under edit, what you can do is basically you can edit the configuration of the data center. You can click next and you can add networks which you think is already discovered and you need to add it here or register it. You can just click configure and register that, and you can add NTP, DNS, domain name as you can see here as well. Similarly, there are other tasks which have been introduced along with this, like you can discover the data center as well. So what you see here is the discover feature. The discover feature lets you identify and discover the components which have been configured recently, whether it can be a network or a data store. So for example, if you have registered the data center quite some time ago and there were some configuration changes being done, networks been added, so all you can do is click on discover and all those changes will be synced and this will be helpful for you to deploy any product. So I click on OK, and we'll see that it's in progress. So from here you can view the task in detail. So if you click on the data center right now and click on action, click edit. So from here all those discovered network can be observed, and you can just click on OK to configure. You can perform the similar operations from the API as well. So we are still providing the Postman collection with version 1.4, so you can leverage that. All you need to do is change the parameters and you can start and registering the data center. So all the tasks are visible here. You can register the vCenter, vROPS and NSXT as well. So you can also perform the delete operation. So this will remove the registration of the data center from VMware Cloud Provider Lifecycle Manager. It won't delete it from the environment as such. So the reason why I have been talking about data center is that it is a mandatory step before deploying or creating an environment. So for example, if you click and create environment, provide the environment name. Only when if you have registered a data center, it will show up here. You need to select that data center, provide all the details like cluster, network pool, data store and data center and so on, and hence start with the deployment. So as you can see, we have got three options here registering the data center. One is vCenter, NSXT and vROPS. So you already talked about vCenter. So if you want to integrate NSXT with VMware Cloud Director, so you can register the NSXT as well for that purpose. Similarly, if you want to deploy vROPS TA on vRealize operations, so you can have vRealize operations manager registered here, and then you can start the deployment of vROPS TA. So the process is pretty much the same, and we have the API calls for the same as well. I hope this session was helpful for you, and stay tuned for more updates and more upcoming videos wherein I talk about all the other features of VMware Cloud Provider Lifecycle Manager 1.4. Thank you for watching this video.